Hey everyone, what's up? This is John with BeSuperfly.com, and this video is going to show you how to import the Anchor layout file, how to set that up to get it to look as close as possible to our demo page here. And there are a couple tweaks you got to do after you import the layout file, a couple small ones. And then after that part of the video, I'm going to go into how this menu is set up here. And then I'm going to go over the CSS to kind of show you what's going on and some of the things that are included in this layout that you can use. As you can see, there are some features here from Josephine. There are some other features from Anthem. If you don't know what those are, they are child themes that we sell at BeSuperfly.com. Two of the top selling Divi child themes of all time. And then you'll also notice that this Anchor layout page is similar to our Beacon landing page that we sell over there. A big difference being, though, that Beacon comes with over 4 hours of video tutorial of me building that entire layout from scratch from a Photoshop file. So if you are hardcore and want to know how to do these from absolute scratch, check out Beacon as well. Alright, so on my desktop, let me go check out the desktop here. I have the Anchor layout JSON file here. And so in my this is my test environment of WordPress here. I have the default Divi installed. I may have done some customizer settings, some minor ones, but I'm just going to call this new page Anchor. I'm going to select to use the Divi builder. And I'm going to actually load just this homepage company into Divi and publish it, just so that we can see that it is a default version of Divi here. So yeah, it's pretty default. Looks like I did do some styling to the buttons, but yours will look like the default Divi. And I hate that map zoom thing. Yeah, so it looks like the only thing is the buttons. But okay, alright. So now I'm going to go and clear this layout. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this template to blank page because I don't want this header in our layout page, and I don't want this footer either. So I'll go ahead and update this, and now all we should have is a totally blank white page featuring a design that is very clean and lots of white space. Okay, so now we're going to import. Now that we have our blank white page, we're going to import the Anchor layout. So I'll go to the importer, click import, choose my file, Anchor layout, and import Divi builder layout. Now, this could take a few minutes, maybe even longer, depending on the speed that you're on. Wi-Fi and or the servers that you're working with, actually, because it's going out and it's importing images from the server from the Superfly server here. And so I'm here it goes. I was going to pause it and see how long this is going to take, but it's probably going to make it here. But I've had times where this takes 3, 4, 5 minutes. So yes, I'm going to pause it and we'll see. I'll see you when it comes back here. Alright, so it just finished importing. After it imports, it does a check mark and then it reloads the page like this. So I'm going to press update here. And now our blank page has become, ta-da, Anchor, sort of. But you'll notice there's some things that are missing. And yeah, the buttons are jacked. But the first thing that's missing is the CSS. The CSS has some additional transitions in it that are not default Divi. And that's why this section here is empty. And that's why these guys aren't fading in. So first step is for me to go and open up the CSS file, select all of it, and then copy it all. Go to my layouts, my page menu here, in Divi. Custom CSS, I'm going to paste that in. Click Save, Update, and now let's see if we're any closer. Alright, okay, getting there. The buttons still aren't. Here's our original page, so the buttons are a little different. And that's because I changed them in my customizer before this, and yours still might not look 100% right. But so far, yeah, that button too. That fades in. That button has rounded corners. I don't want it to have that. That's all good. That fades in. And that's all good. If you have one thing I do know that I have in my, I'll go into my customizer real quick, and I'm going to try to undo what I did here on the button style. Or at least I know this button icon, if you say yes to it, add button icon, if that's yes in your default Divi, then on this landing page, the button's going to do that. And if I go into, I'll go ahead and X this out. If I go into that contact form and I change that button to use custom styles, and I say add button icon no, and I save that, it's going to jack up the padding on the button. So if you really want to have those arrows on hover, it's going to change some things in that button. You have to go in and retarget that button. And I'll actually leave it like this so we can tackle that together here once I fix the button. So first things first, I'm going to go through and fix the buttons. Alright, so I go in my full width header, advanced design, and my button border radius is 50. Nope, it's supposed to be 3. And I don't know why the layout file sets it to 50, because in the page that I laid it out, that I got the layout file, that I generated the layout file from, you'll see that the button radius here is set to 3. So I don't know if that's a bug or what that is, but for some reason Divi decided to put 50 in there. Appreciate that, Divi. So on all these buttons I have to go in, and button hover border radius is going to be 3, and the regular button radius is going to be 3. I'm just going to do this here. Scroll down to my next one, button 3, and then make sure to do the hover one too, or else it'll change on you, which you might want. Alright, I'm going to update now, and our buttons should all be good to go. There we go. That looks more like it. And then, well, yeah, I'll fix this contact button. If I went to the customizer right now, and I changed my buttons icon to no, it's going to fix that right off the bat. I don't know exactly why, but if I say no on this and save it, you'll see that this is going to be fixed. So if you're only using, oh, and I have to go into the contact form now and tell it to not use custom styles for the button. So change that to no as well. And now it's going to be fixed. So if you don't really want I hover over the button in Divi and the arrow shows up, if you don't want that feature on your other pages, then after you import it, just turn that off in your customizer and it'll be fine. But again, I'm going to say use custom styles here, and I'll show you how to fix this in case you want to do that. And again, we're going to say 3 on this guy, and we'll say 3 down here. And I have add button icon no. And then in my customizer, I'm going to say buttons yes, have a button icon. This is just one of the confusing spots of Divi. Okay, yep, there it is. We'll fix that later. All right. Next thing you're probably wondering is the menu. So the clever thing about this landing page is in order for it to truly be a landing page, it's not using the default Divi menu system. So I actually have a menu widget in a sidebar that we're pulling in. So first thing to make that happen, first thing to do is go to your apparent widgets area. And I'm going to make a new widget area called Anchor Menu. Hit Create. It says it was created, but I don't see it. But you'll find out if you refresh the page, you'll see it up there. And so I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to drag over a custom menu into it. And then from my custom menu, I'm actually just going to save that right now because I need to go make my menu. So I'll go over to my menu, and we're going to make a new menu. I'm going to call it Anchor Menu. And then I already know that these sections have certain IDs that I want to scroll to. This one's an About ID. This one, this one here is an Anchor Services. This is an Anchor Work, I believe, and then Anchor Contact. So I'm going to go ahead and add those as custom links. So our first one will be Anchor About, and the link text is going to be About. Then we're going to have Anchor Services. And then we're going to have Anchor Work. And then lastly, Anchor Contact. Save this menu. Go back to my widgets. And then on my Anchor Menu sidebar in the custom menu, I'm going to select the Anchor Menu now that we just made. Click Save. Head over back to my page, my Anchor page. Here we go. And in this menu module here, which is a sidebar module, it asks for the widget area, and right now it has sidebar. I'm going to choose Anchor Menu. Save and exit, update, and now I have my menu. This layout really works best for menu items, 3 or 4 or 5 maybe. If you put a menu up here that has a ton of drop downs and stuff, it's just not it's not coded for that. So then I would just recommend that you use the default Divi menu system and logo, which you would use that by turning off this template blank page to default. And then you would just delete this section here. But this is we now have our anchor page looking pretty much exactly like the demo. And you'll see when I scroll in here, or when I bring it in on smaller devices, iPad, we get down to like 600 wide. It stacks the logo and the menu items very nice. And then when I get down on mobile, it just does that. So it's a really nice landing page for something quick, an event or a wedding or something like that. This would be perfect for. All right, so that kind of ends the basic how to get this thing set up. The rest of this video is going to be me talking about what features are included in this layout that you can add to your other Divi projects. For example, the extra animations we put in. I'll go over that a little bit. I'll go over this image grow deal, which we have tutorials on this stuff on our website, BeSuperfly.com. How this is happening, it's a lot simpler than it looks. And then we'll also fix this button. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is try to fix that button. All right, so I'm going to inspect that button here. And so we see that my padding is getting overridden here. I had padding of 1124, 1224, but that's getting overridden. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go over to the contact form, and I'm going to see if in the custom CSS area there's a button, and there is, contact button. I'm going to put that in there, padding save and exit, and then update. And with any luck, that will fix that issue. Yay, that fixed that one. All right. Sweet, so now we got to go over some of the features. So feature number one I want to go over is the extra animations of fading in. This whole section fades in when the page loads, and that's because this full width header section, or I'm sorry, this section out here, has this ET waypoint fade in animated. Now if you look at the CSS for this layout, down here toward the bottom of the CSS file, you'll see a few things here. We have the features we're going to go over. We have this gray overlay feature, image zoom feature, and then here's our animation waypoints. And so you can see that we have left dash animated, right dash animated, top animated, bottom, and fade in. I love fade in, but we'll mess around with some of these. We'll try top dash animated and bottom dash animated. So if I go down to these quotes, like right there, that one came in. Let's say that quote, which is this guy right here. Right now he has a fade in. Let's change that to top. I believe that's one, right? Yep, top, bottom. Okay. Change that one to top. And then this button, it has one. We'll fade that one in from the right, let's say. And I might have these backwards, but I guess we'll find out here in a second. We'll right animate that one. And this button over here, we'll left animate that one. Got that quote. And then this quote here, we'll bottom animate it, because the other one was top. Now let's see what's up. But the idea being, you can just basically copy the first part of this, right, left, right, top, bottom, and fade in are your choices. Okay, so we'll refresh the page. This first one's going to be fade in like it does. Scroll down here. This guy comes in, and since it's moving, you can't really tell. That guy fades in from the left. That one comes up, so that first one must have done bottom. Oh, I missed one. I missed a button. Here we go. Let me refresh. I guess the first button's on the right. Yeah, that one fades in that way. That fades in up. That fades in from that direction. And that comes up. Top really didn't do anything, so I'm just going to go back to fade in on that one. I mean, it does, if I change these buttons, like if I change this button from right animated to top, we'll see it more because it doesn't have a parallax behind it, which is throwing it off. Visually throwing it off as far as what you see. Okay, so that fades in. That one comes down from the top. I'll refresh the page so you can see that. And it could do from the bottom too, like that. But I'll change that back to right because I like that, and we'll move on to our next item, which is going to be this. I hover over an image and it grows and shrinks. I believe we have this on our blog. So I'll go to BeSuperfly.com, check out our blog. It's not this growing and shrinking background image in Divi, although that's a pretty cool effect you can check out. And then we also have this how to create overlays. That one is it. Actually, I don't think we have that on here. But I do know it's part of Anthem and Josephine. Okay, I guess it's not on there, but I'll go over it anyway. So some sections like the blurb and like the blurb module and the regular image module, you can do this effect to. And basically all you have to have in your CSS, you have to have this image zoom feature. And then in your either in your Divi theme options for the code, head code, or on your page, this full width code right here. this little jQuery snippet is basically saying, go out and find any image that has a div around it with zoom image, and then wrap that in a class of image wrap. And that helps it zoom in and out. So you'll see on these blurbs, under the classes, I have zoom image. So as long as you have an image module that has that zoom image on there, it should do this. In fact, I'll try to do it on this one. Zoom image for the CSS class. It might work on that image, but I know for sure it works on these blurbs. Yep, so there. That's not a great example because it's getting cut off there because it's growing. But if you have like an image like this, it works really well. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off that first image. And you could obviously change these from scale. You know, right now it's barely scale. It's taking it from 1 to 1.1. You could change that to 0.2 or 0.5 or 2, and that would make it double the size. But you got to be careful with that because it will pixel out the image. Okay, and I think the last one, or last couple I want to go over is the gray overlay. And let me see where I'm using that. I think I'm using that on this one. Okay, so I'll take it off here, off this whale parallax section, and you'll see why I have it. And I do know on our website, this is all spelled out on this, how to create color overlays for Divi sections. There's a whole video on this, and 2 different ways how to implement it. There's this give me that code, give me that CSS code section here that kind of dives into it. But I definitely recommend watching the video. But you see, without it, I can still read the words, but this is the image basically with no. There's 2 ways to do this. One, you can add a color overlay in Photoshop, which is great, or you can add it through with code. So here, there's no code added, so all I have to do is go to that section that has that background image in it and add in the gray overlay, update it, and it's going to apply a light gray overlay so it makes this text more readable. Boom. And it's adding it. If I inspect this element, it's actually adding it in this before area. And so you can see right now it's a RGBA, 25% opacity. If I crank that opacity, you'll see it really goes in there. But I could change the color. I could make it this blue color. That looks pretty sweet, actually. Or if you got creative, you could do a gradient background in there. You have to do background image, though. But now I can just kind of say, there we go, blue like the ocean. And then mix it in. So then I would grab this RGBA values here and go in and add it to my gray overlay. Or maybe I'd make a new one, copy all this, and call it, blue overlay and blue overlay. That way I could keep them separate from my gray overlays. But that's how you would do that. That actually looks pretty nice. I actually kind of like how that looks. Without having to go to Photoshop every time you want to change the color. I'll go ahead and refresh though. It's just going to give us our gray color back. Alright, last trick here we're going to talk about would be, well, there's I guess a couple other ones. So this right here is a background image that's being applied. Same with up here, background image that's being applied to this column. And when I go down, you'll notice that it still keeps that background image. And that's because we're using this, where are you at? There's a class in here that we're grabbing to make that, to keep that. Not hero, not in that section. Split section. So we're saying on tablet and below, the split section column that has split image is going to have a height of 500, and then on phones it's going to have a height of 300. So right now there's a height of 500, and then on phone that's going to get smaller to 300. So if you wanted to change that for this image here and this image here, that's where you would go. And you'll see back here in the page settings, right here we're just, in this section it has the split section class, and then inside the row, column 1 is the split image, which is this guy, and then column 2 is the split text, which is this part here. And then in the advanced designs, you'll see that I'm adding padding to column 2 here, which has the text. And if you buy Josephine or Anthem, there's a whole tutorial on that, how to do that. And it'll even show you, and this might be in our tutorials too, and it might not be. Or it might be on Vimeo. Yeah, here on Vimeo, it's going to be this 2-column switch right here. That is what you're going to want to do in case if you want these to, let's say down on tablet and mobile, you always want the image to be first. Well, in this one, image then text, that works. But down here, it's text first, then image. If you watch that video, it'll show you how on mobile it'll take this image and put it above the text. So yeah, that, or if you, like I said, if you buy Anthem or Josephine, you'll get that tutorial. But you can just Google Josephine theme in Vimeo, and the Artillery Media deal will come up, and that's our freelance company. But it'll have a bunch of these videos on there. Or under YouTube, if you go to the BeSuperfly videos, they'll be on there too, I'm sure. Color overlays, there's some, there's the 2-column switch right there. That's showing how to do it in Anthem. All right, I think that's going to wrap up today. Oh, the last thing is this anchor image at the bottom, how it's showing what seems to be the same image. Very easy. All this is, first off, for the this image here, and then down here is the contact form. So this image has this picture set to parallax CSS, and then the section below it has the same picture. Actually, wait, it's different. I'm going to make it the same. That way it's even more convincing. There we go. Oh, I got to move this over so I can save it. We'll have that be the same image, parallax CSS. Great. So that's step 1, have both those be the same. And then this image right here, I want to drag it out and open it up, it's basically a ping image. So this part is cut out, and so transparent, and then the rest of this image is just solid white. So now when I refresh here, I'll scooch up, refresh. There we go. It looks like it's the same picture. This one has the gray overlay on it. So if I took that off, it would even be more convincing. So I'll just kill that real quick. There we go. So yeah, now it's even more convincing that it's all hovering over the same image. Only because I have that set up here. And actually, I'll just choose this one for both, because this one already has the gray overlay on it. So let me do the same one up here. I bet I'm going to like this better. I'm going to like it better and wish that I did the layout like that. Yeah, I like that better. But I still think I like the gray overlay on here. You don't need that scroll link. That was something else I was messing with. Boom. Exactly at 30 minutes. Amazing. All right, so that's it. That's how to set up this layout. And yeah, show us what you make with this free layout. Thank you so much for downloading it and watching this video. And we'll catch you in the next one. Be sure to check out BeSuperfly.com for premium Divi child themes and plugins. Have a great day, everybody.